Picture this. You've got a perfect Saturday, light breeze, flat water, good crew, cold drinks in the cooler. You motor out of the slip, kill the engine, and the sails go up. And then someone pulls out a glass wine bottle, sets it on the cockpit coaming, and it goes straight over the side the second you tack. Or worse, it doesn't go over the side, it shatters. Right there in the cockpit, barefoot. Perfect Saturday over. Some things just don't belong on a sailboat. Some of them are superstition older than GPS. Some of them are bad manners. Some of them are maintenance nightmares waiting for the right amount of moisture and neglect. And some of them will have your insurance company going very quiet and very serious when they look at whatever's left. Today we're counting down 10 things you should never bring on a sailboat. Let's start at the bottom. Number 10. Bananas. Yes, we're starting here. The banana. The oldest superstition in sailing, and arguably the most argued about item on any forbidden list. Nobody fully agrees on where this one came from. Some say banana boats ran fast schedules and left little time to actually catch fish, so fishermen blamed the fruit. Some say bananas ferment and release gases that drove off other fish or made sailors sick below decks. Some say sailors just needed something to blame, and the banana was convenient and yellow and right there. Is a banana actually going to sink your boat? No. Will it curse your fishing? Probably not. But if you're crewing for someone who's been sailing for 30 years and they see you walk down the dock with a bunch of bananas tucked under your arm, you may find yourself watching the boat leave without you. Some superstitions survive because the people who hold them are also the people who own the boat. Respect the banana rule. It costs you nothing. Number 9. Glassware. Wine glasses, beer bottles, mason jars, glass mugs, anything that feels completely normal in your kitchen and becomes a liability the second it's aboard. Sailboats heal. They roll. They get waked by powerboats with names like Liquid Therapy doing 30 knots 200 feet off your beam. Gravity will eventually win every argument with glass. And when glass breaks on a boat, it doesn't just break, it distributes into the non-skid, into the cockpit drains, under the floorboards, into that dark corner near the companionway where you always seem to be standing barefoot at exactly the wrong moment. Use stainless. Use acrylic. Use insulated tumblers. Use cans. Use anything that bounces instead of explodes. Your feet will thank you. Number 8. Cardboard boxes. Cardboard is not storage. Cardboard is a shipping material that somehow convinced an entire generation of boaters that it belongs in a locker. It does not. Here's what cardboard does on a boat. It absorbs moisture. It softens. It collapses under the weight of whatever you stacked on top of it. It grows mildew on the bottom where you can't see it until you pull everything out and find that gray, fuzzy situation that's been quietly happening for 3 months. It stains the locker floor. It falls apart in your hands when you try to move it. And then, just when you think it can't get worse, you find out it's been a hotel. Cockroaches hide in the folds and the glue seams of cardboard. So do other things with too many legs and no invitation. Damp air, a dark locker, and a cardboard box is basically a listing on a bug accommodation website. Continental breakfast included. Everything that came aboard in a cardboard box should leave the cardboard on the dock. Transfer it to plastic bins, dry bags, labeled containers, mesh bags, proper tool rolls. The box your spare parts came in was designed to survive a truck, not 6 months of marine air and bilge humidity. Treat them accordingly. Number 7. Aerosol sunscreen. Sunscreen matters. Nobody is arguing against protecting your skin, but aerosol sunscreen on a sailboat is a menace with a nozzle. You press that button and it goes everywhere. On the cushions, on the gel coat, on the non-skid that was doing a perfectly good job of being grippy right up until someone misted it with SPF 50. On the wheel, on the lines, on the handrails you grab when the boat moves under you unexpectedly, which is always. On a sailboat, slippery is not an inconvenience. Slippery is how people go over the side. Use lotion, use a stick, put it on before you leave the dock. Keep aerosol cans ashore where they belong. Number 6. Dark-soled shoes. This one won't sink you. It won't start a fire. It won't send you to the emergency room. It will, however, make the boat owner quietly furious for the rest of the season every time they look at their cockpit sole. Dark rubber soles leave marks on everything. Gel coat, non-skid, cabin sole, companionway steps, anywhere a person decides to walk while wearing the official footwear of deck vandalism. And those marks don't just wipe off. They live there. They become part of the boat. A permanent record of that one afternoon when someone showed up in black-soled work boots and didn't think to mention it. Boats already demand enough. Time, money, weekends, knuckles, patience, and a tolerance for finding the same leak in 3 different places. They don't also need guests autographing every horizontal surface in black rubber. Boat shoes exist for a reason. Non-marking soles exist for a reason. A good guest asks before they step aboard. A dangerous guest shows up in dark boots carrying a cardboard box, a glass bottle, and an aerosol can of sunscreen. You know the type. Number 5. Automotive and household electrical gear. Extension cords. Cheap power bars. Clip-on battery chargers with alligator clips. Hardware store switches. Automotive fuse holders. Anything designed for your garage, your basement, or your car that somehow ended up responsible for something important on your boat. A boat is not a house. A boat is not a car. A boat vibrates and flexes and leaks and sweats and corrodes and sits unattended in damp salt air for weeks at a time. That indoor power bar zip-tied to your nav station was not engineered for any of that. And here's the real danger. Temporary becomes permanent. Something works fine for one weekend, so it stays. Then it stays through winter. Then it's just part of the boat now. Then one day it isn't. Use marine-rated chargers, proper shore power equipment, ring terminals, strain relief on every wire, heat, shrink, everything. Your boat is not a basement with a mast. Number 4. Untinned DC wiring. This one feels like a smart place to save money. Marine tinned copper wire costs more than regular copper wire. And when you're already spending what boats make you spend, shaving a few dollars on a wiring run feels completely reasonable. It isn't. Here's what happens. You run the wire. It looks fine. It works fine. Weeks pass, maybe months. Then something stops working. Not dramatically, not all at once, just sort of intermittently, unreliably, in that deeply annoying way that makes you question whether the problem is even real. You trace it back, start stripping the wire, and instead of clean, bright copper, you find black. Corroded through invisibly inside the insulation where you couldn't see it happening, so you cut back an inch. Still black. Another inch. Still black. Now the wire is too short to reach its terminal. Your head is jammed into a locker that hasn't been fully opened since the previous owner. One screw has already rolled somewhere unreachable, and you are seriously reconsidering every decision that led you to this boat. Tinned copper wire has a thin coating that resists exactly this kind of corrosion. It costs more up front. It saves you the locker. It saves you the inch-by-inch excavation. It saves you the afternoon. Use it everywhere, but especially in bilges, lazarettes, behind panels, in the mast, and anywhere that's damp or hard to access, which on a boat is basically the entire boat. Number 3. Wire nuts and morettes. They work in houses. In houses, they are completely fine and nobody is declaring war on electricians. But on a boat, they are not your friend, and finding them should make you curious about what else is back there. Boats vibrate. Panels flex. Lockers get wet. Wire nuts loosen over time. They corrode. They create intermittent faults in circuits you absolutely cannot afford to have failing intermittently, like your bilge pump, your navigation lights, your VHF. Use marine crimp connectors, heat shrink, terminal blocks, proper bus bars, strain relief, always strain relief. And if you find wire nuts on a boat you're buying, start looking for their friends. There will be friends. Number 2. Portable propane or fuel-burning heaters. A boat cabin is small. Smaller than it looks from the dock. Smaller than it feels on a nice day. and significantly smaller than it needs to be when something starts consuming the oxygen inside it. Combustion eats oxygen. It also produces carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is colorless, odorless, and by the time you realize something is wrong, you may not be in any condition to do anything about it. People fall asleep. They don't wake up. This is not a dramatic exaggeration. It is a thing that happens to real people on real boats with portable heaters running in closed cabins, and it happens quietly and without warning. There is also the fire side of this. A boat cabin is full of fabric, wood, foam cushions, fuel lines, wiring, and things that burn. An open flame or a portable heater tipped by a wake at 3 in the morning is not a situation you want to manage from inside a sleeping bag. If you want heat aboard, do it properly. A correctly installed marine heating system with proper ventilation, exhaust routing, and working safety equipment is a different conversation entirely. But a portable propane heater borrowed from your camping kit is not a marine heating solution. It is a risk with a knob on it. And if you have any fuel-burning appliance aboard at all, you need a working carbon monoxide detector, not the one from 5 years ago with a faded sticker and a battery that might be fine. A working one. Go check it right now. Number 1. Unfused wires connected directly to the battery. This is the final boss. It sounds boring. The danger is not boring. A battery can deliver an enormous amount of current almost instantly. If a wire connected directly to it shorts out, the battery feeds that short until something stops it. If there's no fuse, the something that stops it is the wire itself. The wire gets hot, the insulation melts, everything nearby gets involved. Then the boat gets involved. It happens gradually. One small wire added without a fuse because it seemed too minor to bother. Then another. Then another. Then one of them shorts behind a panel you haven't opened in 2 seasons, and the boat that was fine at the dock is not fine anymore. Every wire connected to a battery needs overcurrent protection, correctly sized, as close to the source as possible. Right wire, right fuse, right terminals. Label everything. Remove anything abandoned. The fuse is supposed to be the weak link, not the wire, not the boat. Sailboats reward the people who pay attention to the weather, to the rigging, to what's in the locker, and what's running the bilge pump. The water doesn't care how experienced you are. It cares how prepared you are. Some of this list is common sense. Some of it you only learn after the glass breaks, or the wire corrodes, or the locker starts smelling like something you'd rather not identify. Now you know before. So tell us, what's on your forbidden list? What did we miss? Drop it in the comments below. And if this was useful, hit subscribe. We'll see you on the water.